Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so primarily we're still looking for the same things here. We're looking for that possibility that within this we could have this as a 1-2, a 1-2, and then we're looking to push to the upside. Alternatively, we could argue that within this structure we have a completed five-wave move into this high here, and potentially we could be starting to look to break down for a bigger move, potentially down towards this 23,580 level to this 21,182. So our primary support above this, this is looking for that more bullish scenario where we're looking for this as another 1-2 is between this 26,631 to this 24,810. So potentially we could have completed by this 50% retracement here, but the problem is the move, we were looking at it yesterday and we were talking about that possibility we could have had a 1-2 and another 1 and forming that 2, but we actually came back and crossed this low. So because of that fact, we can't look at it anymore. It is just a three-wave move to the upside. The internals weren't great anyway, and we're saying that yesterday, it wasn't perfect. So now what we need to be aware of is whether we actually completed this correction into this low or we still have a correction that is ongoing here, where this has now become a connector wave. And even then, if this has become a connector wave, this potentially could not be completed, and this could actually be a B wave, and we actually look to move up one more time and potentially sweep some of these highs before looking to come back down. So this is still a possibility. Obviously, within here, we can see that this previous channel which we were in, we're sort of just consolidating towards the bottom of it. It'll be interesting to see whether we can manage to get back above this, or whether we actually just start to break down from here. So we're going to go over a couple of options. If we do move up, however, I'd be cautious of this line here, which is just looking at this channel. This is obviously not confirmed yet because we don't have enough touch points, but using this just as a guide of something I'm looking out for here. That we can move this around a little bit and draw this channel in various ways, but basically the idea is the same, depending on whether we want to draw this channel like this or potentially off of these lows here. Basically what we want to see is whether we actually get a move back up into this and then actually look to continue to reject. So I'm keeping an eye on this swing high here as well as this zone higher up here towards this zone of this 27 or 28,000. We do move back up into there, potentially we could see a rejection and look to continue down into the support box that we have here. This 26,631 to this 24,810. So let's get into the subwave counts here. Obviously, we've talked about a variety of things in the previous videos. This move here could technically still be, a wave 5, and then we could have a bigger move to the downside playing out. So these key zones here that we have, we need to stay above this 23,896 if we're looking for this as a 1-2. And then basically, if we're looking at this as a potential continuation where this becomes a 1 and we look for a 2 here or an A and a B, we need to hold this 21,182. So our lower support zone basically that we need to hold if we do actually break down and we do lose this low, this 19,570 would be down here between this 20,900, well actually if we lose that it would be between this 19,483 to the 17,582. Now this would be the support zone if we are looking at this as a fifth wave to the upside. And if we are rather still looking at that possibility where this is an A, a B, and we come down as a C, basically that target zone, or that 786, which we don't want to lose, is a little bit lower here towards the 17,000 area. But yeah, well, I mean, once we start to break some of these key zones here, it starts to become more likely that actually we're looking for that continuation to the downside. So we need to hold them, ideally, if we are looking for this bullish potential up here. So, okay, let's get into the smaller time frames here. What we're looking for is basically within this structure. I'm looking for a few things. So I'm going to just switch this over. So one thing I am keeping an eye out for is whether this move is actually becoming a bigger flat correction. And we can see here, I've used this time tool here. Basically, the 1-to-1 in time duration of this period would actually put us here towards tonight at mid or just coming up to 2300 my time. So what I'm looking out for is that possibility that we could see something like this play out, where this becomes a bigger A wave, this becomes a B, and then we actually get a C wave to the downside. Something like this, potentially looking to target out these zones of this 27140 if we do move up here. So what we need to be aware of is if we do get five-wave move up into these zones, be cautious around this 292353 to this zone here. Well, actually, that would have been 1 to 1. We've already met it. So this 28961 area. Keep an eye on these areas. If we do have this currently as an A, a B, and we're looking for that C wave to the upside, basically that 1 to 1 would take us up here in between these two towards this 21148. So this would be quite an interesting zone. If we do move up into this, it could flush out some of these short positions and then look to drop from there. So keep an eye out on that. That could then actually bring us into that support zone that we were talking about, which would be over here. Potentially that could look to bring us down towards this 382, which would be this 26631 again, potentially setting a double bottom here, or maybe even coming down a little bit lower here and retesting this zone of this 26,086. Obviously, these things can extend out, so this is just a typical range. Another way of measuring this is potentially, if it does become a flat correction, is basically taking the length of this A wave and let me just put it onto regular, and then looking for this 1618, which is down here towards this 25,525. Now we have been talking about this lower range here for a while, saying that a retest of some of these key areas would be likely. It's just whether it happens now or we just move up first and then down. I am going to be watching to see how we react around here. Potentially we could look for that bounce in this area. Alternatively, if we start to break down through these areas, potentially that could then mean that we're going to be coming down here and possibly looking to test some of these other key zones that we held as support, towards this 22826 region. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of levels in between here that we could look to hold. But yeah, if we do start to break down here, this is going to be our next defense for that bullish possibility. So yeah, let's get back to what we were talking about. So within this, I'm looking to see whether, if we hold this low here, we could actually start to form some structure to the upside in a C wave, in this B wave. It doesn't have to be a 5-wave move. It could be something like this. We get a 3-wave move, retest, another 3-wave move, and there's just a W, an X, and a Y. And yeah, I mean, the target of 1 to 1 up there is a zone that we look for, but it doesn't have to reach that. There's a couple of areas in between here that could be quite interesting if we do actually move up into that zone. So keep an eye on these areas. Even this 28495 area potentially again could be quite an interesting one if we do move up here. But yeah, we need to just see how it plays out. So this is what I'm looking out for if we do maintain this low here, this 27,000, and potentially this 26,601. It's possible that we could come down one more time here and then look to do something like this. But yeah, just the idea is that we come back up here, sweep these highs, and then actually look to progress down. So that is the one way that we're looking at the move. The other way that I am still looking at it is that potentially, within this we had a W, this could be an X, and then we could actually be setting up for a C wave to the downside here. Looking to target out somewhere between this 1 to 1, which would be here towards this 26,848, which actually be a retest of some of these lows here. And then alternatively, if this does start to progress deeper, potentially we could come down towards this 1618 area, which would be this 25,736. So I'm keeping an eye on this, potentially you could retest the bottom of this channel. Alternatively, if we start to break out of this channel like this, then it's probably more likely that we're going to be looking for that flat. There isn't really much confidence in this, counting this as any kind of a 5-wave move here. The only way potentially would be, no, even then the wave one's too long. So yeah, I do think it's just a corrective move to this upside. So either way, basically the support zone is still the same. This 26,581 to this 24,794. So this is going to be key. I'm anticipating we're going to potentially see another move down into this range. If we do move up here, I would be cautious between this 27,861, which would be a 50%, which would actually be bringing us back into these levels here. Potentially that could be a rejection if we form this as a three-wave structure here, and then look to actually break down from that point. So keep an eye on those levels. Highest we'd want to really come as a B wave here would be this 28,366, which could actually take us up into some of these higher levels here, and then potentially even back up into this channel. So these are going to be key sort of zones to see how we react. The thing with the way this move has broken down here, it isn't looking impulsive at the moment, but we can't just laugh off the fact that it could become impulsive. So one thing I am looking for here is the potential that within this, we could count this potential move here as a diagonal pattern here, as a one, looking for a two. So if this is the case, basically what we're doing is looking for this bigger move down towards the zone of this 25,803. If we do get a move down here, we're gonna have to be cautious that we don't develop additional fourth and fifth waves here. Um, just because of the fact that, then we could start to count this move slightly different, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this low, and potentially within here, we could have another 1, 2, we get a fourth and a fifth, which looks to bring us down past this 25,187, which we're saying was an area we need to be careful of because of how this move started here as a potential 1, 2. So we'd really want to see it start going if it is a third wave, though. I don't want to see it sort of just loitering around here. It needs to start to get some traction to the downside if this is the case. So really, until we actually break back above this 28,253, be cautious. This could be either like we said, this could be an A, come up for a B, and we get a C. Or alternatively, we could get this as a 1, 2, we get a deeper sell-off for 3, 4, 5. Then we'd have to be looking out for how we count these internals here, and then potentially, there could be another two fifth waves to the downside. And then that could all be within this single third wave, and then we could still get an additional fourth and a fifth. So this could actually look to push us down here, into these low ranges, looking to actually challenge some of these areas here. The thing is, if we do develop a bigger five-wave move like this, basically what this would then indicate would be that, that within this structure, if we start to form a bigger five-wave structure like this to the downside, this would then potentially become either a wave one or an A wave. So then we'd have to look at this as an A wave to the downside or a wave one to the downside. We'd be looking to see whether we get a three-wave move back up into some of these zones here. Then actually looking for continuation back down. And then this would actually look to come back and potentially retest some of these key areas that we were talking about here. This 20,757 to the 17,104, and then basically this 20,988 to the 17,625. So these are going to be key zones. We need to see how these play out, but need to be cautious that once we start to break down below this 25 200 level, unless we actually come back up and start to break some of the structure, it is possible we could actually just expand out and go expand to the downside. So keep an eye on those key levels. Yeah. In the meantime, as long as we hold those the support zones higher up here, potentially we can still look for this bullish cause here where we're saying, we're going to get another. I would expect another move down, but potentially we need to be also aware this could be a B or W, X, and a Y and is completed here. And then we start to progress here as a five-wave move, find support and then sort of get something like this playing out to the upside where this becomes a 1, 2, and then we get a bigger push up for that third wave. So keep an eye on these levels. As long as we are remaining within this channel, potentially we could continue to see sell off here, even back into the beginning of this channel and back into this 25,200 level. Alternatively, if we start to break out of this, potentially we could be looking for a move up, but we need to just be aware that if we do move up, be cautious around this 29,253 to this 28,495 area. Okay, everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on the bells notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.